I didn't expect syntech to come out with something this bold, but here we are. This is the syntech Chronos 68, a compact gaming keyboard that promises competitive level performance at a price that doesn't sting as much as its bigger name rivals. And after using this for a while, I've got quite a lot to share about my experience, both the good and the not so good. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. I'm Renzo and we feature affordable and interesting tech gadgets on this channel. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more. On Syntech's website, the Chronos 68 is listed at $179.99 US, but I've seen it often drop to $139.99 during sales. And at that price, it's honestly a steal. When you compare it to something like the Wooting 80HE, which is almost double the cost, the Chronos 68 looks really compelling. You're getting Hall effect switches, adjustable actuation, ultra-low latency, premium build, and thoughtful extras like the rest pad, all without breaking the bank. If you're interested, I'll leave the links in the description box below. Be sure to check them out because prices fluctuate and you can use our exclusive link for discounts. The Chronos 68 comes in 3 color options: black, yellow, and white. I'm testing the white variant, and right off the bat, I'll say this. The design has that clean, compact 65% layout that strikes a nice balance between portability and practicality. It cuts off the function row and numpad, but you still have arrow keys and a few essential keys so it doesn't feel too cramped. The chassis is made of aluminum and it feels premium without being too heavy. What's surprising is how lightweight it actually is despite being all metal. That makes it easy to carry around if you're the type who moves your setup between work and play. One detail I noticed, you get 3 LED indicators, but they aren't labeled. Not a deal breaker, but it takes some trial and error to know which one is for caps lock, gaming mode, or whatever you've toggled. The typing angle is fixed. Personally, I would have liked adjustable feet for ergonomics, but since it comes with a magnetic rest pad, that offsets the limitation a bit. And speaking of the rest pad, this was my first time trying one. It feels firm but comfortable, almost like there's a layer of memory foam inside. It's a really sweet freebie if you've been considering adding a wrist rest to your setup. Inside the box, Syntech packed quite a lot. You get the keyboard itself, a keyboard cover, a USB to USB-C cable, a keycap and switch puller, a brush, 4 extra switches, and of course the magnetic rest pad I just mentioned. There's also a quick setup guide to get you started. I've unboxed my fair share of keyboards, and I would say Syntech nailed the essentials here. It's not over the top, but it gives you the right accessories without feeling bare bones. The inclusion of extra switches is thoughtful, especially since this is a hot swappable board, though with the caveat that you can only swap in magnetic Hall effect switches, not your usual MX style mechanicals. The Chronos 68 comes in 2 switch options: Otemu magnetic sealed switch and Gateron magnetic Jade Pro. On paper, there's not much of a difference spec-wise. I went with the Otemu, and here's where my preferences come in. I personally prefer lighter actuation force both for typing and gaming. These Otemu switches need a bit more actuation force than I would like, so at first it didn't feel as effortless as I wanted. But the real kicker is that this is a magnetic Hall effect keyboard, which means you can adjust the actuation point anywhere between 0.1mm and 3.5mm. That adjustment makes a huge difference. If you want the lightest, most hair trigger input for gaming, you can go all the way down to 0.1mm. If you want a more traditional feel for typing or accuracy in slower paced games, you can dial it back. It took me some time to find my sweet spot, but once I did, it was much more enjoyable. The key press itself is smooth, very smooth actually. It doesn't have the scratchiness that you sometimes feel in budget switches, and paired with the transparent PBT keycaps, you get a crisp typing experience that also makes full use of the RGB backlighting. Now, if you're someone who likes heavy actuation force, you'll probably enjoy this more out of the box. For me, it took tweaking the actuation point before it really clicked. Here's where the Chronos 68 really flexes. If you're a sweaty gamer looking for the fastest input latency, this thing is a beast. Syntech claims and other testing lines up with other YouTubers' tests, that it's actually faster than the Wooting 80HE at 0.776 millisecond on an 8000 Hz polling rate. And keep in mind, the Wooting costs about twice the price of the Chronos 68. That's insane when you think about it. For under $150 on sale, you're getting latency that rivals and even beats premium competitors. You also get features like SnapTap, which lets you press and release keys on actuation rather than on release. Now, I should mention that SnapTap can be a bannable feature in some competitive FPS titles. I'm not a pro player, so that doesn't really affect me, but I do like having the option. In games like Call of Duty, that extra responsiveness feels really satisfying. By default, the keyboard comes with two modes, typing mode and gaming mode. Typing mode mimics the feel of a traditional mechanical keyboard, while gaming mode gives you shorter, sharper actuation. To be honest, unless you're used to ultra-precise inputs, the difference isn't immediately noticeable. But once you start switching between typing documents and gaming sessions, you'll start to appreciate the dual modes. Syntech gives you both a downloadable app and a web-based driver for customizing the Chronos 68. I couldn't get the web-based driver to work at all, so I stuck with the app. Thankfully, the software itself is solid. It's not the most beginner-friendly, but once you understand the layout, it's pretty intuitive. You can adjust actuation points per key, set up rapid triggers, remap keys, and of course, customize RGB. You also get 4 layers to customize, which is more than enough for different setups, like one for gaming, one for productivity, one for editing, and one just for fun. One thing to note, the Chronos 68 has no built-in battery, which means it's wired only. For me, that's not a big deal, especially since this is clearly designed as a competitive gaming keyboard where every millisecond counts. Wireless usually introduces latency anyway, but if you were hoping for wireless flexibility, this isn't it. It's a wired warrior, plain and simple. So, should you get the syntech Chronos 68? Here's my take. If you're primarily a gamer and want a keyboard that gives you a competitive edge without costing a fortune, this is a fantastic choice. The performance is legitimately top tier, and the features like adjustable actuation and rapid trigger make it stand out. For typing, it's not the lightest feel out of the box. You do need to tweak the actuation to really enjoy it, at least in my case, but once tuned, it's smooth and satisfying, especially if you don't mind a slightly heavier press. I also think it works really well as a secondary keyboard for those who want something compact, portable, and still premium. The rest pad is a surprising highlight, the PBT keycaps feel durable, and the build quality is solid all around. Sure, it's not perfect. No adjustable typing angle, no wireless mode, LED indicators without labels, and software that might confuse beginners. But honestly, those feel minor compared to what you're getting in performance and value. At the end of the day, the syntech Chronos 68 proves you don't need to spend a ton of money to get high-end gaming features. It's compact, it's fast, and it's built with gamers in mind. If that sounds like what you're looking for, I'd say go for it. But that's it for this one. Drop a sub or like if you feel like supporting the channel. As always, until the next one, stay safe.